I never thought my family could keep secrets from me. We always seemed so close, sharing dinners, laughing at old stories, and supporting each other through thick and thin. But one night, everything changed. I stumbled upon something I wasn't meant to see, something that shattered the foundation of trust I believed we had. It all started innocently enough. I was searching for an old photo album in the attic when I found a sealed envelope tucked away behind some dusty boxes. The handwriting was familiar, but not something I recognized immediately. Curiosity got the better of me, and I carefully opened it. Inside, there were letters, dozens of them, detailing conversations and decisions that involved me but were made without my knowledge. The words hit me like a punch in the gut. They talked about me as if I wasn't there, discussing plans that affected my life behind closed doors. I felt a mix of anger and betrayal. How could they do this? Why didn't anyone tell me? The room seemed to close in on me as I read more, each letter peeling back layers of deception I never imagined in my own family. The next days were a blur. I confronted my parents, hoping for an explanation, but their reactions only deepened my confusion. They were evasive, glancing away, avoiding my gaze. It was like they had rehearsed their silence, as if protecting some fragile secret. I realized then that the secrets weren't just about me. There were things they were hiding from each other too, fractures in their relationships I had never seen. The perfect family image was crumbling before my eyes. In the middle of all this chaos, I found myself reaching out to my aunt. She was always the quiet one, the one who seemed to know more than she let on. When I told her about the letters, her face darkened with worry. She confided that there had been a family dispute years ago, one that involved money and trust, and that I had been kept deliberately in the dark to shield me. But shielding me only made the truth more corrosive. I felt like a stranger in my own home. The nights became restless. I would lie awake, replaying conversations, trying to piece together why they thought hiding the truth was better than facing it with me. Each answer I sought only opened new questions. I started digging deeper, looking through old emails and messages, searching for clues. What I found was a maze of half-truths and omissions that painted a picture far more complicated than I expected. One message stood out, a plan to sell a family property I had always thought was mine in some way. The decision had been made without telling me, and the money was being moved quietly, shifting the family dynamics. When I confronted my father about it, his face tightened. He said he was trying to protect me from stress, that it was a practical decision. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being pushed out, as if I didn't belong in the family decisions anymore. The realization stung deeply. I wasn't just hurt by the secrecy, but by what it implied, that my voice didn't matter, that my presence was negotiable. It was a loneliness I hadn't anticipated, surrounded by people, yet utterly isolated. I reached out to my siblings, hoping for solidarity, but they seemed just as confused, some angry, others defensive. The family fractures were wider than I thought, and everyone was hurting in their own way. One evening, my mother finally broke down and told me about the pressures she'd been facing: debts, illness, strained friendships. The secrets had piled up, each one a brick in a wall built to protect, but ultimately imprison us all. Her confession was a turning point. For the first time, I saw their struggles not as betrayals, but as human flaws, as desperate attempts to hold the family together even while tearing it apart. But forgiveness felt distant. How do you forgive when the lines between protection and deception blur, when the people you love hide from you, believing it's for your own good? I began to write my own letter, pouring out everything I felt: hurt, confusion, longing for honesty. I didn't send it yet. It was just a way to clear the chaos inside me, to find my own voice after feeling silenced for so long. In the weeks that followed, the atmosphere at home shifted. There were awkward silences, tentative conversations, and moments where the past seemed to weigh heavily on every word spoken. I started to understand that families are complex, that love doesn't always mean transparency, and that sometimes the hardest battles are fought within the walls of home. Yet despite the pain, there was a strange kind of hope. Hope that maybe, through confrontation and truth, we could rebuild something stronger, even if it looked different from before. One afternoon, I found myself sitting alone in the garden, the sunlight filtering through the leaves like a fragile promise. I realized that the story of my family was still being written, and I had a part to play in it. I don't know what will happen next, whether the wounds will heal or deepen, but I know I can't unsee what I've seen, and I can't unfeel the mix of betrayal and love that now defines my family. What I do know is that secrets have a way of surfacing, no matter how hard we try to keep them buried. And when they do, they force us to confront not just each other, but ourselves. So here I am, sharing this story because maybe someone else out there feels the same, caught between love and pain, trying to make sense of family in all its messy, beautiful imperfection. And as I type these words, I think about the next conversation I'll have with my parents, the next truth that might come out, and the next step in a journey I never wanted but can't turn away from. Because family isn't just about the good times. It's about the hard ones too, the secrets, the mistakes, and the hope that somehow we'll find our way through. I'm still figuring it out, day by day, letter by letter, conversation by conversation, and maybe that's enough for now. This story isn't over, not by a long shot. I can feel the weight of what's to come, the tension in the air like a storm about to break. But I also feel a flicker of something new, maybe understanding, maybe forgiveness, maybe just the slow rebuilding of trust. Whatever it is, I'm ready to face it, because sometimes the hardest truths lead to the most honest beginnings. For now, I'm just sitting with these feelings, letting them settle, knowing that family, for all its flaws, is still my home. And even when they hurt us, even when they betray us, they are the people who shape us, who challenge us, and who, in their own messy way, love us. So I'll keep searching, asking questions, and maybe, slowly, we'll find our way back to each other. One secret at a time. And one honest conversation at a time. Because in the end, that's all any of us really want, truth and connection, even when it's hard. And I'm ready to fight for that, no matter what it takes. Even if it means breaking everything first. Because sometimes you have to break to rebuild. And I'm beginning to see that now. So here's to the messy, painful, beautiful journey ahead. To family with all its secrets and all its love. And to finding the courage to face both. Because that's what family really is. A story still being written. And I'm going to be part of it. No matter how hard it gets. Because in the end, love is worth fighting for. And sometimes, that fight starts with facing the secrets we've been too afraid to see. This is my story, and it's just beginning. And maybe, just maybe, it will help someone else out there who feels lost in their own family's secrets. Because none of us are alone in this. Not really. And that thought, even in the darkest moments, gives me hope. Hope that we can all find a way back to each other. And that's a start. So thank you for listening. And I'll keep sharing, as long as it helps me make sense of it all. Because this story isn't just mine. It belongs to all of us who have loved, lost, and struggled to understand the families we come from. And maybe, in telling it, we can find a little light in the shadows. A little peace in the chaos. and a little hope for what comes next. Because family secrets might be painful, but they're also part of the journey. And I'm ready to keep walking it, one step at a time. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. Because that's what family means to me now. A challenge. A puzzle. And most of all, a chance to grow. So here's to the secrets, the pain, and the love that make us who we are. And here's to the stories we haven't told yet. Because those stories might just change everything. And maybe, just maybe, they'll help us heal. One day at a time. One truth at a time. One family at a time. And that's a journey worth taking. No matter what lies behind the doors we thought were closed. Because sometimes opening those doors is the only way forward. And I'm ready to open mine. Even if it means facing the unknown. Even if it means facing the truth. Because in the end, truth is the only thing that can set us free. And that's what I want now. Freedom. Understanding. And maybe a new beginning. So here I stand, ready to face whatever comes next. Because family secrets aren't the end of the story. They're just the beginning of a new chapter. And I'm ready to write it.